as I speak about Howard Terminal, okay, what does Oakland do in this meantime? If you're the Oakland mayor who you've interviewed, does she open negotiations, try to sit back and watch this? Where does Oakland stand while the A's Las Vegas thing kind of wavers a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Oakland is they really felt betrayed in this process. And because of that, they're not picking up the phone. And I think at some point, they actually are going to have to swallow their pride and pick up that phone. Because if you listen to everything Rob Manfred has said since this deal blew up, he keeps misrepresenting the facts. I'll put it that way to say it as nicely as humanly possible. He doesn't seem to even know what the deal in Oakland was. And I think that's a big problem for Oakland. I think that's a big problem for everybody, how the commissioner could not even know what the deal is with one of his major league teams that he's desperately been trying to fix for, I don't know, maybe 20 plus years now. You'd think he would know more about the deal. So where things got weird is Oakland and the A's went into this exclusive negotiating process right down to the wire. They swore silence on both sides. The A's wouldn't talk. I couldn't get anything out of them. The city wouldn't talk. I couldn't get anything out of them. And part of the agreement, too, the city of Oakland agreed not to speak directly to Commissioner Rob Manfred. The A's wanted all commissioner conversations going through them. So this set the stage for this incredibly weird showdown where the A's announced that they're buying land in Las Vegas. An article in the paper leaked according to the A's, but it had quotes from Dave Kaval, had quotes from Rob Manfred in it. The Oakland mayor said, that's it, we're done, we're out, we're pulling away from the table, we're not going to let you use this as leverage. And here we are now. So at this point in time, the city of Oakland feels like they were betrayed in the middle of these negotiations. They don't feel like they need to be the ones to pick up the phone. However, they can't keep going down that road and expect baseball to stay or even come back as an expansion. At some point, they need to clear the air, particularly with Rob Manfred. They need to present the exact facts of the deal and let him know this is what was on the table. Now go look at what you're getting offered in Vegas. It's less money. It's less land. You're getting 9 acres on leased land, a stadium you don't own, land you don't own. In Oakland, it's 50 plus acres on the water, more public funds, all that. They got to put it all on the table.
Well, my understanding, I'll just say, like they really were negotiating. Like the A's and Oakland were really negotiating. It wasn't like some ghost thing that my understanding, John Fisher wasn't just using the Howard Terminal site as leverage. Maybe partially leverage, but I don't think it really was. Casey, is that your sense? I mean, I hear that a lot, and everything I heard was that it was really serious negotiations. They were really going back and forth on stuff, and it was close to a deal. Like they could have made a deal. Casey, would you agree with that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, dead on. Because they basically put it into a situation where they had a mediator that John Fisher chose. They were going to settle this within a week. They'd flown in all their attorneys. Like this thing was going to happen or not happen by the end of the week. Either they come to a deal or they both agree that this deal will never happen and they walk away amicably. And that's when the A's dropped the land purchase agreement at the Wild Wild West site, right there in the middle of all that. So the whole thing blew up. I actually think that if you look at the way the A's have operated this whole time, they've always tried to use one city against another city. In Vegas, they tried to use one site against another site. They've always tried to pull these leverage moves to get the last best deal. I think deep down the A's may have thought that announcing this land purchase agreement right smack in the middle of the most serious negotiations they had with Oakland might have been one last little leverage play that could have worked in their favor, and instead it just backfired.
Yeah, great negotiation there. Yeah, I can't imagine that any normal person would say we're inching towards a deal, and you go cut a deal with someone else. Oh, great, we'll give you more money. That sounds great. You know some of these details. Obviously, we don't know all the political stuff, all the financial stuff. But can Oakland give more? I mean, is there more for them to give? I had heard that they've given about as much as they could, and I'd have outside people telling me this is actually a pretty good deal for the team, given the parameters, and we know the financial, there's limitations of what a city can provide. Can Oakland give more, Casey? Is there more on the table for them to give?
I mean, it's hard for me to say like exactly where the negotiations ended. I was told by multiple different sources they were about $88 million apart. I was told that the port was even willing to step up and help bridge that gap a little bit. I was told that they were even going to talk about trying to split that 88 million three ways to try to help the A's get to the end. I think that where this thing really went awry, though, was the global pandemic, that little thing that happened. Yep. Costs went up, right? Interest rates went up, inflation hit. And I think that because of that, it took an already way too complex $6 billion project and made it even more difficult to pencil out. So in the end, I think that if you were the city of Oakland, you're pushing for 30, 35% even affordable housing when the state mandates 15%. At some point, you're not going to be able to get real estate developers to sign on under those terms because it's just going to start not penciling out. And I think that's maybe where they could have bent a little bit. But in reality, they've raised almost $400 million in offsite funds using grants. That's a lot of money. That's more than they're being offered in Vegas. On site where the stadium was supposed to be, they had already worked out a deal with the county to reimburse the A's for almost all of those funds as well. So this could have been upwards $800 million that the Bay Area, Oakland, Alameda County, was offering the A's.